Let's get back to it.
I can't believe I've got to this point in the year without having a single solitary clue about what that Wagatha Christie thing is all about. I've just been avoiding it. Successfully. All I know about it is it's called Wagatha Christie. It's something about, I've no idea. I don't care. But it was kind of interesting. He said on the news there that Rebecca Vardy was told by an actual real-life judge that she was going to lose and she shouldn't carry on with this, whatever it is. And she said... No. Because, after all, what does a judge know about the law? Does that mean that we're going to be hearing no more about this?
Oh, no.
No, it probably doesn't, no. Probably doesn't, no. We're going to be hearing it. It's going to be going on and on and on. I'm looking forward for the rematch. And now the weather. We're all going to get very, very wet, but not from above. It's coming from below. Danger from the deep. A new Met Office report has revealed that sea levels are rising faster than they were a century ago. The rate of increase has reached up to 5.2 millimetres per year in parts of the country, over triple what it was in the early part of the last century. And I will translate that from European surrender measurements to Her Majesty's feet and inches. We may have to queue at the border to get out of the country. We may have to fill a mountain of paperwork to get some smelly cheese into the country. And that is a disgrace. But we will not measure two things in filthy foreign centimetres. And one of them is water. So you double it and add 32 to get from centimetres to feet. So double 5.2 is 11.4. And 11 foot 4 plus 32 is 53 feet 8 inches. Sea levels have risen 53 feet 7 inches per year in parts of the country. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Actually, yes, specifically around Glasgow. Checking while you wait. Oh, I've got Dubai on here. Wow. Why would anybody live there? Why would anybody go there on holiday? You people are out of your minds. 111 degrees. 100 every day. It's 111 degrees and bright, bright, punishing sunshine. People fly over Italy to go to Dubai. People, eh? Anyway, Glasgow. Aha! Just as I suspected. Raining tonight, raining tomorrow, and, no, wait a minute. Not raining on Sunday. Pfft, rubbish. Raining on Monday and raining on Tuesday and raining on Wednesday. And you're going to have sun on Thursday. Have you got anything to wear for the sun?
No.
And then, according to this, my phone must be wrong, but it says you're not going to get any rain for a week. Rubbish. Impossible. I don't believe it. A recent study found that 200,000 homes and businesses in England are at risk of being lost to rising sea levels by the 2050s. But as they are probably going to be in Southend and Skegness, no one is remotely interested.
Correct.
Meanwhile, researchers warn that 40 degrees centigrade temperatures won't be out of the ordinary within the next 3 decades. A new study suggests that extreme heat waves will increase by more than 30% over the coming years after being fueled by the burning of fossil fuels and other human activities. Activities?
Disgusting.
I knew it was coming and it still made me laugh. Activities. So all of this is, this is what scientists say. Or if you are one of the knuckle draggers that populate these social media websites, it's all just weather. Nothing to worry about. I mean, just, every now and again for my own amusement, I do read the comment section in the Daily Mail, and under stories like this is, well, I remember when I was at school, they said it was going to be the new Ice Age, so what, they don't know nothing, do they? Scientists once got something wrong. Therefore, no scientists know anything. All scientists know anything, or no science? Is that two? That's two no's. There's a double negative, which is a negative. Climate change is intensifying the global extinction crisis, a new study warns. That's what a research team found in the University of Minnesota, wherever that is. They found nearly 1 in 3, as in 30% of all species will disappear or be threatened by 2100. You believe that? 30% of species will disappear or be threatened by 2100. This is mainly due to biodiversity loss. That's the result of production and consumption and human population and climate change. I'm hoping that pandas are on the list for extinction. I mean, those things are just annoying. I mean, they don't do anything. They eat wood, and they don't even have a hot panda interface with each other. Noah Greenwald, the Endangered Species Director at the Non-Profit Centre for Biological Diversity, that's just way too many syllables. Those syllables need to be cut by about 30%, Noah. Noah Greenwald, Endangered Species Director. He's not endangered. The species are endangered, just in case you were wondering. Noah's fine. He's going to be all right. It's the species that are endangered. He's the director at the Non-Profit Centre for Biological Diversity. He called the numbers quite alarming. He said, let's make a list of all the animals that we would like to get rid of. I mean, wasps. Not very keen on wasps. Spiders, they can go. What else? Snakes. Don't like them. Yappy dogs. Absolutely. The weather. Tonight in the northwest, the rain will be heavy at times. Other areas dry, but increasingly cloudy. Saturday, rain moving east, becoming light and patchy, with many southeastern parts dry, with sunny intervals, showers across the north, very warm and humid in the south and the east. The outlook for Sunday to Tuesday. Rain at times, mainly affecting you know where. With the south mainly dry. Mainly. Very warm in the south, temperatures around normal in the north. Would you like to hear the weather forecast for the rest of the summer?
No.
At first, patchy rain to the north and then sunny. Cloudy elsewhere with the chance of some showers in the south. This is the next couple of weeks. First 2 weeks of August. Blimey, it's practically August already. Don't time fly when you're out of your mind. Cloudy elsewhere over the next couple of weeks, other than the north. Chance of some showers in the south. The end of the week could be slightly cooler, especially in the north, dry on Friday. This dry weather likely to continue into the following week. Temperatures becoming near normal. And then last 2 weeks of August. This is it, everybody. Last gasp territory. Fingers crossed. Good luck. Many areas are likely to see drier than average conditions throughout August, except the north, which could endure some periods of organised rain. Whatever that means. I mostly dislike disorganised rain. When it's organised, then you know where you are. Any rain in the south could be accompanied by thunder, lightning, very, very frightening.
Rock and roll!
Temperatures likely to be above normal for most. This is the last 2 weeks in August. Temperatures likely to be above normal for most, particularly in the south, where they could be significantly above normal. Temperatures likely to be above normal for most, particularly in the south, where they could be significantly above normal. We'll take it. Sue in Swanage says, hello, Nick. Are you a sports fan? Well, it's a bit vague, Sue. I like some sports and not others. Can you be more specific? She says there's so much sport on TV recently. Tennis, golf, cricket, women's football, and now the Commonwealth Games. Also in November, the World Cup. So boring. What do you think, says Sue? Lighten up, Sue. There's always something on the other side. I mean, I won't be watching much of that. Tennis? No. Cricket? No. No. The Commonwealth Games? Yeah, I'll probably watch a bit of that. Although it does seem like a bizarre bunch of countries competing with each other, don't it? I mean, the big countries, the ones that win everything, they're not there. And the rest of them, I mean, some of those countries, and I do mean this in the nicest possible way, they're a bit dingbat, aren't they? I mean, they're a bit bottom of the drawer, aren't they? I've got no idea. I mean, I bet if I went into the street with £1,000 and asked people to pinpoint on a map half of the countries that are at those games, they wouldn't have a clue. I know I wouldn't. Women's football. Well, I won't be watching it, but I'm pleased for them. And that backheel goal, that was stunning. But that's about the only thing I've seen of it so far. But, people are really into it, and that's great. And the World Cup, well, yeah, of course. Yes.
Yes.
So, am I a sports fan? You know, people could moan about that in the 19... Do you remember the 1970s?
Boring.
There was about approximately, more or less, 2 channels. Count them. And I think only one of them was in colour, wasn't it? Or was that the 60s? I don't know. It didn't make any difference. There was hardly any channels at all, and we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have mobile phones. We had a thing called books. You remember books, don't you?
No.
Yeah, they came with pages, and you read them manually with your eyeballs. Kids will have no idea what I'm talking about. So, you know, when like youths say that they're bored, I mean, for crying out loud, you don't know what boring is until you've gone through a Sunday in the 1970s. The clock just ticking away, and you just wanted to go faster. You wanted your life to be over on a Sunday. And then then songs of praise would come on.
Oh, no.
And it seemed to be obligatory, even in households that didn't do Jesus. Painful. Bored. Scott and Bury St Edmunds says, Man alive, Nick, you are coining in the overtime. How many days consecutive... See, my mouth is tired.
Stop whining.
He says, man alive, Nick, you are coining in the overtime, man. That's 2 uses of the word man in the same sentence. He says, how many days consecutively have you done, man? 3! Sounds like a hippie to me.
Yowza.
He says, keep going, though. Look forward to the show every night. Best wishes, says Scott. Well, that sounds like a threat. Are you threatening me? Keep going? It's just talking. Keep going. I'm sitting down in an air-conditioned room, which I can set to the temperature of my choice. I'm in a comfortable chair, surrounded by screens. I mean, if I start boring myself, I can just switch on the Commonwealth Games. I can do anything, me. You know, this is the only thing on LBC at the moment. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
LBC. This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet @LBC. Text 84850.
Shut up.
0345 6060 973. During the week, in fact, last night, one of my favourite, maybe my second favourite political interview of all time, and I have detailed files. My second favourite political interview of all time happened on this station, and I'll play you an excerpt of it in just a moment. Isn't that exciting? Tom tweets, Johnson has temper tantrums and is like a great unruly golden retriever howling for attention, a former aide has said. Cleo Watson, who served as the PM's Deputy Chief of Staff, said he needed a fair amount of house training and had to be hemmed in. Quelle surprise, says Tom, which sounds like filthy foreign language to me. He's calling you an out-of-control golden retriever, Bodge.
I think he's betraying a quite stupefying ignorance.
Yeah, I think he's more like an incontinent puppy. Not a golden retriever. He's just an out-of-control little puppy. Desperate for attention. And so needy. What's he doing, by the way? I mean, does anybody actually have a clue what he's doing for the money that we're paying him? We're paying him a massive amount of money. It's like 164 grand a year. What's he actually doing, apart from having a party? This says, Carol in Bristol says, I went to a panda sanctuary when I was in Chengdu in China several years ago. It was very lovely and there were loads of pandas, but once you've seen one panda, you've seen them all. That's right. They're all the bloomin' same. Stupid pandas. I mean, there is a species that's actually trying to commit a special suicide. I was talking to Carol McGiffin about that.
Yeah.
We do a podcast which is called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol? And we were discussing pandas.
Oh, right, yeah.
And we decided that they're a total waste of space. They don't actually deserve to exist. That's not a controversial thing to say, is it? No, I don't think so. Let's have Norwich, Brett. Brett.
Hello, mate.
Yes, Brett.
Hello there.
Hello there.
I just wanted to tell you about a gig I went to last week.
A gig?
Yeah.
A concert?
I was just wondering what the last gig that you went to was.
I thought you said you were going to tell me about your gig.
All right, I will.
Well, don't threaten me.
I went to see a band called Yard Act.
Well, awful.
Really?
Aren't they? Well, I must be thinking of somebody else.
No, it was probably...
Oh, Dagtar.
Well,
I'm thinking Dagtar. You went to Yard Act. Right.
Who's Dagtar?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, they are. They're up and coming, Brett. You heard it from me. Don't forget that.
From the 70s, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yard Act, yeah, the best live band I've ever seen in my life.
How many bands have you seen?
Yeah, enough.
Well, what does that mean? Put a number on it.
Well, probably not as much as you.
Right, maybe as much as Zaphod Zahawi?
And one.
More than that.
Two.
More bands than that.
6 million.
That's too many bands. Now you're just boasting, Zaphod. Okay, thanks a lot, Brett, for whatever that was. 0345 6060 973. I don't know, I've got a gut feeling about that one.
Warning!
Yeah, I'm going to go with my gut while I'm mucking about with my microphone. That's not annoying, is it, when I do this? This says, evening, Nick. When you do your weather forecast and check while waiting, how long can you stay silent before the backup tape kicks in? And more importantly, what's on the backup tape? Can we hear it? Thanks in advance, says Anon. Steve Allen is on the backup tape talking about biscuits. And I'm not entirely sure. Maybe my glamorous assistant knows. How long is silence do you have to have before a backup tape kicks in?
30?
30 what?
Seconds?
30 seconds. It's probably less than that. That was a guess, wasn't it? You should just admit right off the bat that you've got no idea. 30 seconds, she said, with zero confidence. No, I think it's probably less than that, maybe 10 seconds or something like that, because even 5 seconds sounds like an eternity on the radio. Listen. Didn't that seem to take forever? This anonymous tweet says, Nick, when you were interviewing Liz Crust and Fishy Rishi, can't miss... Well, when are you? When am I interviewing Liz Crust and Fishy Rishi? Yeah, that's not going to happen. No, not now, not ever, never. But our leader interviewed them. Nick Ferrari interviewed him last night. And my second favourite interview of all... It wasn't that. It happened just before Nick Ferrari came on. And it constitutes my second favourite political interview of all time. I have detailed files, and I'll play it for you almost in full. Doesn't take very long. But that's coming up. You will remind me, won't you? Because I will forget. Let's have a call in Kingston. Hello, Sophie.
Oh, my gosh. Hello.
Sophie.
I can't believe I'm talking to you.
Well, I can't believe my luck either.
You liar. Yeah, well, oh, my gosh. I did originally phone in about books, but do you know what?
Books?
Boring!
Yeah, well, I'm a mad music fan, and I've seen Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd. Oh, I can't even begin to tell you in the 70s and 80s.
You have begun to tell me. Where did you see Pink Floyd?
I saw them at Earl's Court.
So did I.
I was a student nurse.
Yeah.
And they were doing...
The Wall.
The Wall.
The Wall.
The Wall.
I saw that show too.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine? You might have been near me. with 5 student nurses.
Right. Well, it wouldn't have made any difference one way or the other because, I mean, you could have been on fire, Sophie, and I still wouldn't have noticed you at all. The stuff that was happening on stage.
Yowza.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad to talk to you because you are a refreshing breath of fresh air.
A what now?
You are a refreshing breath
of fresh air. Right.
On this radio station.
Yes, I am the wind beneath your sheets.
You are. And you are truly, Nick. I mean, I'm being serious, actually, now.
Is this you being serious?
Yes, and because I know that this is not your serious show.
No, this is my normal abnormal show.
Yes, but believe you me,
I don't believe you.
I listen to you lots, and even when you're being serious on the other shows.
My abnormal normal shows.
And you
keeping on.
You just keep me.
I keep keeping on. Don't say sane. Don't say that.
You do.
Don't say that. The amount of people
in this blooming world.
The blooming world. Yeah. Well restrained there, Sophie. Yeah. Okay. Pleasure to talk to you, Sophie. Cheers, my dear.
Take care.
I won't. I don't want to, and you can't make me. 0345 6060 973. The amount of people that call in to say I keep them sane. Stop saying that. Too much pressure. Simon in Windsor says, I remember Sundays in the 1970s, and as you say, they were very, very boring and seemed to go on forever. But at least as a child, you could always go out to play. I can't imagine being an adult then with only 3 TV channels, which didn't start till about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I think BBC Two didn't start till the afternoon. Pubs were open for only 2 hours in the daytime, and there were no shops open at all. All those Brexiters that long for the good old days can't have been brought up in the 1970s, says Simon. Well, you got a good point there, Simon. I think many of them were already pensioners in the 1970s, and they haven't changed their opinions on anything at all since. Oh boy, I do want to talk about the wacky race to be the next dear leader. And the debate that we had last night, and just plenty else besides. And don't let me forget to play you my second favourite political interview ever. So that's coming up. Now, I've only got 2 minutes for the news. How many texts and emails? Oh, my God. Already pages and pages and pages. How do these people get my number? So I'll read some of these, then I'll come back with some calls. Chris from Somerset says, wasps are great pollinators. Plus, clear up human garbage. What? I thought it was the bin man. I'm sorry, bin person. What do you mean, clean up human garbage? He says, spiders are essential predators that can eat wasps. The next time you itch with that insect bite, you will be annoyed to note that you removed their main predator. And foxes in London, stop blaming foxes for the actions of humans. Oh, there's too many foxes. I live in a place sort of, it's a bit country-ish, and they're just absolutely everywhere. There's thousands of them. You can't walk anywhere and they got so bold as well. It used to be that they just came out at night. Now they're just all over the place during the day, and I don't like the way they look at you. Because you wave your arms about, and to correct them, and they just look at you going, "Oh yeah, what are you going to do?" They must regard us as big, slow-moving, stupid bags of fat. Sean says, "I think the women's football is very skillfully. Good luck to them." That's how it's written. The women's football is very skillfully. Good luck to them. But they are nowhere near the standard of men. I'm not sure you're allowed to say that, Sean. In danger of being cancelled there. Craig and Oldham says, did you see Jay Blades from the BBC's repair shop phone in last Saturday, or did I dream it? I think you called him Jake. I've got no idea what you're talking about. Holly in Norfolk says, grizzly bears play an important role in forest ecosystems and seed dispersers and nutrient providers. Is this real life or am I hallucinating? Who are all these people talking to and about? Grizzly bears? Who's mentioned anything about grizzly bears? And what's Jay Blades? No idea. Let's have, let's see, who's been waiting the longest? One moment, please. Just checking while you wait. Manchester, Louise.
Oh, how are you, Nick?
I am great, mate.
Thank you. I am.
No, thank
so
you.
appreciative.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. we have a very similar sense of humour. Thank God you're on the air.
Am I keeping you
today,
sane?
I wasn't going to say that because you just told us not to say
Right.
that.
Yeah, don't say it.
So, no, won't. So I've been to Wales today. Been to Gronant, which is near Flintshire.
Ah, yes.
I've been doing a back to the past, you know.
You've been doing what now?
A back to the past, P-A-S-T. Did I get that right?
I think so, yeah. If you were going for past, then yes, you got that right, yeah.
Yes, I had to be careful with that one. Yeah, and I read a book on the way down. Not all of it.
You read a book?
Yes, on the train, yeah.
While you were driving?
Well, I wasn't driving the train. The train driver was
Oh, I
driving
see,
the train.
right.
I hope he was. So anyway,
Maybe it was just
yeah.
maybe it was just freewheeling. Maybe somebody just let the brake off and it was just careening down the tracks and it just happened to stop wherever you wanted to get off.
But possibly, but he did a good job. We got there in one piece, so I'm not complaining.
Get Mick Lynch on the phone. He'll explain it to us.
Definitely, hurrah for Mick Lynch. Yeah. Anyway, it was War of the Roses, the book.
Oh, yes. Who won?
A lot of people died, didn't they?
Well, that's wars for you.
Yeah, horrible things, aren't they? Yeah,
And they were fighting over roses. That doesn't seem right.
No, not really, does it?
No.
All these emblems, you know.
Emblems.
Emblems, yeah.
Emblems.
Yeah. And I looked on the floor, and it was pristine. Pristine.
What was?
Gronant in Wales.
Oh,
no litter.
Oh, I
lovely
see.
flowers at the station.
I tell you what, Wales is an absolute unalloyed delight. Everywhere you look in Wales, it's a picture postcard. It's beautiful. And it differs from Scotland in that Scotland is stunningly beautiful, but Scotland is like majestic. It's huge. The scale is enormous, whereas Wales seems to be compacted beauty. And every turn, every corner you go around, it can quite often give you a completely different set of like a different scenery. You can go from sort of North American pine forests to flint cliffs, and it's just an amazing place. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge abandoned mines, slate mines. You know, quarries, not a mine, quarries. Yeah,
rolling hills and sheep as far as you can see.
Yeah, and if you look on the floor when you're walking along, you'll find a plaque that says Offers Dyke Trail.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not what you're thinking. It's something else.
Please don't elaborate.
It's something else entirely. I'll look that up for you later, Louise. I'll have a full report on your desk first thing in the morning. All right, cheers, my dear. 0345 6060 973. I have no idea if that's what she called in for or whether that was a build-up to something else, but now we'll never know. We'll never know. Damn it. James says, it's okay, Nick, don't feel pressured. I listen to you every day and now I'm insane. Right. Thanks, James. Isabel Anisha says, hi, Nick, I sang in the school choir on Songs of Praise and still hated Sundays. The best thing about Sundays was Pinky and Perky in the 1960s. Well, we got Pinky and Perky running for to be the next Dear Leader. Which one's Pinky? Well, Perky would be, I think it would be Fishy, wouldn't it? So the Brains Trust will have to be Pinky. You sang in the school choir on Songs of Praise. Is that like once or is it the same school choir they had on every week? I don't know. I couldn't stay in the same room as Songs of Praise. Have they still got that show on? Let's have Sutton Coldfield. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
Good, thanks.
You were just talking then again about how boring Sundays used to be.
Yes.
I'm a bit young to remember those days.
How young?
It's before. Well, I'm 36, but yeah. But it reminded me. I enjoy the Hancock's half-hour programs from back in the 50s, and I wondered if I thought it's the sort of humour you might like. And there was a wonderful episode, one of the best. I think it was just a radio one, Sunday Afternoon at Home, which was very much about that subject. And I wondered if you were familiar with it. And
no, I am not familiar with it. No, not really. I mean, I guess it was funny. The blood donor is funny, but that's really the only one I know. I think it's probably the only one I've actually seen.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, they are quite dated, obviously, now, but yeah, some of the best ones, I think, are actually the radio episodes, and this is one of them. So, I mean, I'm sure you can find it on the internet.
I most certainly will do nothing of the sort.
Well, no, I just thought you might enjoy it. It's your loss, Nick.
I guess so. Yeah, I'll just have to live with that. All right. Thanks a lot, Ben. Thanks for the good advice. Ree in Harpenden says, Nick, I don't know what to do about foxes visiting my garden. What else would I do with all the food that's gone out of date in my fridge that I've impulse bought while shopping hungry? Don't shop hungry. At all, ever. Have yourself a little bit of a snack when you go out. Or just help yourself to whatever's on the shelf that you fancy in the supermarket and eat it while walking around the aisles. And put the empty packet in the bag and just boop it later. People do that, don't they? They go out for lunch and they eat it while walking around a supermarket. What are people like? Well, their kids are running around screaming. Control your kids and control yourself, people. Don't let me forget to play my second favourite political interview of all time. Hagar in Felixstowe says, is Nick there? Is Nick there? Are you doing Monty Python? Is Vic there? I found your number in Department S. 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps, please. Wow, so many references in such a small space. 0345 6060 973. I do want to talk about the debate last night and plenty else besides. But, you know, all these people, they keep calling me. Lester. Hello, Alec.
Hello.
Alec.
How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Cool, you do your bit. Okay, so we are Lord Mead and Lord Cheese, and we're from the radio show Mead and Cheese, which is the most popular show about mead and cheese in the world.
I believe that's true.
So, yeah. What our mission is, Nick, is to bring back awareness to the lovely medieval drink mead, because in like modern time, it's not in on the shelves in the supermarket.
Well,
anymore.
that is true. Yeah. Do you know what mead is made of?
Honey.
Right. Wow.
It's fermented honey. It's very, very simple drink to make.
Yeah. Please don't
good.
Tell me how to do it.
Oh, no. Because I think what you should do, Nick, is you should go and to Lime Bay Meadery and buy one of their bottles of mead.
I have to tell you, Alec, that time is running out on this call. Unfortunate that. I hate when that happens. Time just runs out on some calls. It's beyond my control. This show was like this when I got here. Thanks a lot, Alec, for whatever that was. Steve says, I can tell you where Bojo is. He's doing his bucket list, a list longer than the amount of fairy tales he's told thus far, and at great expense to the taxpayer.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Seriously, what is he doing? You know how much we pay that bloke? It's like £13,000 a year.
What?
No, a month.
What?
A month, not a year. £13,000 a year. A month. Get it into your thick head, Abbot. It's 13 odd grand a month. And what's he doing? Plus £250,000 of expenses, of course. And all of the rest of it. What is he doing? I do actually have some clue as to what it is he's doing. I'll come to that in a minute as well. He'll be showing up any moment now dressed in somebody else's work clothes for a photo opportunity. Another one.
Fabulous.
0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. By the way, if don't look up. That is my best advice to you. For the next couple of days, do not look up. And I'll tell you why in a minute. That's the stuff that's happening. Good grief. 0345 6060 973. Nick Abbott, LBC.
LBC. Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Right, so what are we doing?
Given we are doing a radio show, but it does remind me that I do a podcast with Carol McGiffin, which is called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol? Here is the plan. We try to solve people's problems while laughing our faces off. If you want us to have a bash at your issue, then you must send it to the following address. nickandcarol@global.com. nickandcarol@global.com. And gird yourself for satisfaction. There's over 120 episodes that we've done so far. I cannot believe that we've managed that many without killing each other. Well, it's probably because we're not in the same place when we do it. She's in France.
Disgusting.
And I'm in Her Majesty's Patriotic Britain. But don't let that make you feel badly about her. Oh, I can't stand it. You're worth every penny, Your Majesty. You've got to put up with that every time you walk out the door. What a dreary tune. Anyway, we solve people's problems, kind of. It's very funny. I mean, I think it's safe for me to say that it is very funny. I laugh my face off when we're doing it. It is the hour in the week that I laugh the most. So if you wish to be amused and you've got a spare hour, then I think it would be right up your alley. Ask for it by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? It's on Global Player, which you absolutely should have in your life. It's got all the radio stations we do, all the podcasts, including the 3 that I do. But ask for it in the following manner. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? Woodford, hello, Tony.
Good evening, Nick.
Tony.
Right, you're in good form tonight. You're on good form tonight.
Thanks.
I want to make.
You want to bring me down?
Oh, no, I don't. I just want to make some serious points, Nick. Really.
Tony, you're harshing my buzz, man.
Okay, regarding this cost of living payment that people are entitled to, or certain.
Right. This is you not. This is you not bringing me down, is it?
No. I just want to get a serious point across. That
right.
all.
Okay. Serious point coming up. Go ahead.
Yeah. I listened to Richie Sunak, and he said he was proud of his record on helping the disabled, the low pay people on universal credit.
Right. I wasn't aware that you gave them any help at all.
Well, no, that's what I'm coming on to.
Oh.
And in employment support allowance. Now, employment support allowance, Nick, took the place of the old incapacity benefit, or someone that was on income support on the grounds of illness or disability.
Okay, this is a very serious point to Tony, but I do feel that you are draining the life out of me.
Well, I just want to get to the point. I'm just trying to.
Furthermore, I want
get straight to
I want you to get to the point.
Right. Okay. Well, I just wanted to inform your listeners. That was all.
Yes.
Right. So this ESA took the place of what I just mentioned. People that want severe disablement allowance. So why is it that the government are not paying the cost of living payment to someone that's on contribution-based ESA against someone that's on income-related ESA?
I have no idea.
They can get it.
Tony, I really don't know, but I do know that there are endless hours of the week in which you can bring that very serious and important point up, but not this particular hour. But I do wish you all the best. Thanks, Tony. 0345 6060 973. Bob in Norfolk says, Nick, why do you never see stories anymore about cats that have travelled hundreds of miles to be reunited with their owners? Are cats just not as committed as they used to be? That's a good point, Bob. Cats. What's up with cats lately? Maybe they're just not bothered anymore. I don't buy that cats travel the length of the breadth of the country to be reunited with their owners. You know, their owners will accidentally leave them on the roof of the car and then drive off, forgetting that they're there, and get out at like a service station somewhere, and the cat jumps off, and they continue their route after having a delicious service station sandwich.
Disgusting.
And then they get back home again and they think, oh, blimey, the cat was on the roof. And weeks later, the world's press are goggle-eyed with the news that the cat has found its way back home to be reunited with its owner. I don't think that the cat is in love with its owner. I think the cat's in love with free dinner. It just remembers where the food is. Unless you know otherwise, in which case you must correct me. Helen says, do you remember Sundays in the 1970s when you could go to a newsagent and buy a newspaper, but there was a rope across the birthday cards as you weren't allowed to buy them for some reason? The birthday cards? I don't remember that. Did they have booze behind the birthday cards? I mean, it seems hard to believe now, but on a Sunday, if you found yourself at, 10 to 2, and you'd forgotten to go out and buy some booze, then you were gripped with panic because you had 10 minutes, a 10-minute countdown.
Warning, warning.
Like the, and I don't know why it's always a woman, but it's always a woman when in space films, and somebody presses the big red button marked self-destruct, and then steam starts coming out of pipes for some reason. There's absolutely no reason why steam should start coming out of pipes. What's that for? And like lights start flashing. This ship will self-destruct in 10 minutes. That kind of thing. What was I talking about there? Oh yeah, the going and getting the booze. You couldn't buy. It was against the law to buy alcohol on a Sunday between 2 and 7 because that's what Jesus wants. So, no, I don't remember the birthday cards thing, but it's not something that would come around very often, going out to buy birthday cards. I mean, it's not the sort of thing you go out and buy every day, is it, really? This says, hi, Nick, you were right about Wales being beautiful. I moved here 3 years ago. I would love to tell you where, but I can't pronounce it. Well, that's a good point. Can you spell it?
No.
Liverpool, Vincent.
All right, Nick, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'll tell you what, unbelievable, aren't I? We're just sorting, aren't we? We're thinking, no, years ago, the pubs used to shut, didn't they, at 2 o'clock? Do you ever remember that?
Yeah, they did.
He did. And my dad, all scaffolders used to come out the pub. There was only 22 of them, and they were playing football. These kids with an Al Wembley trophy. I used to say, the age of them, buffoons and that. Yeah.
Right. Can we get Tony back on the phone? Thanks, Vincent. 0345 6060 973. Helen says, oh, I read that. This one says, you are right, and I've read that one. I'm way ahead of schedule. I am very good at my job. Darryl in Hove says, Nick, when you're trying to fob us off with your second favourite political interview, why can't we hear your actual favourite one? I'm not entirely satisfied. That's right. I must play you my second favourite political interview of all time. I have it. I'm looking at it right now. All I've got to do is press that button over there, and it will appear as though by magic. Don't let me forget to play it for you. Tooting. Hello, Jan.
Hi, Nick. Good evening.
Jan.
You're having me in stitches this evening.
Sorry about
that. No, I mean nice ones. I'm ringing about wolf whistling. It's been in the news because of that Liz Truss thing. Mm-hmm. But I'm
now,
I'm not
wait a minute. When you said that Liz Truss thing, is that how you refer to
public harassment bill?
Yeah, but is that how you refer to the next leader of this country? That Liz Truss thing?
No, I meant the thing, her bill. The thing is her bill, not her. I wouldn't be calling her a thing.
Fishy Sunak and that Liz Truss thing.
No, you're twisting it around.
Right, okay, my fault.
I
understand.
I wanted to take up something about wolf whistling because recently I heard some wolf whistling coming from the head of the tree outside my second flat floor window.
Wait a minute, back up. You heard some wolf whistling coming from the tree.
The tree, the crown of the tree. It wasn't yet in proper leaf.
Right.
Coming from the tree, the crown of my tree, and sometimes the council send the companies around to trim
a man to whistle at you from the top of a tree. Yeah.
Yes, but it took me nearly 3/4 of an hour to identify what it was that was wolf whistling.
The source of the whistling.
Yes, it was a starling.
A starling?
Yeah, a beautiful starling. I couldn't see it straight away because it kept moving around. Anyway, they are supposed to be great mimics, and you can think of many joke scenarios.
I can't.
This. Well, I'll tell you a couple.
Oh, no.
Well, I'll tell you one.
No.
No. Do you know what they can mimic? Telephone calls.
Telephone calls, yeah.
And car alarms.
Yes.
But they can do the wolf whistle. So apparently there was a woman who went out into her garden in a bikini to sunbathe when it was hot, and she heard wolf whistling. Well, she probably thought it was a neighbour, watching her and whatever.
Or maybe you were just watching a Carry On film.
No, it was a starling. It was identified to be a starling.
Right. And is currently awaiting trial. It's awaiting its removal to be sent to Rwanda.
Yes, so I have funny jokes or images of starlings being mistaken. There's some phantom wolf whistler going around, and they're starlings.
Yeah, starlings. You said that. Yeah.
And they might be looking. Whoever thinks that. Well, I don't
peering
know
into your window.
Disgusting. Well, have you ever? You haven't heard?
No, never. No. Never been whistled at by a bird. No. But you know what, Jan? Thanks for leaving us with that beautiful image. Sadly, time's up. Just in time too. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nica@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. So I want to talk about the big debate. I want to talk about where's Bodge. And there is, don't look up. For the next couple of days, you must not look up. Promise me you won't. And I want to play you my second favourite political interview of all time. Talk about a packed show. Excellent value for money. 0345 6060 973. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. Nick Abbot, LBC.
Hello, I've been waiting for you. Hello?
Yes, let's see if we can get somebody that I have been waiting for. It's someone on the Isle of Wight. Billy.
Oh, hello, Nick. How are you?
I am great, mate.
Oh, good. I'm not going to say that you keep me you-know-what, because...
Yes, good.
But, Nick, I want to talk to you about Lizzie and Rishi.
Yeah.
Because I watched the debate last night. Was it last night? I think it was last night.
Yes, it seems like a very long time ago, but it was last night.
Yeah, and the breakdown is this, unless I'm wrong. The breakdown is...
Hey.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, I mean, you will know this probably better than I, because I'm sure you have. Well, you know Carol McGiffin, for example.
I know Carol McGiffin.
Yeah.
Basically, I think that the two. I'll come on to that in a minute. That's my opinion. That's not what the breakdown is. The breakdown is that Lizzie came out on top, didn't she?
Yes.
But
well, it was interesting because I listened to the first two, the first speeches. They came on and they did their thing as a warm up, and I was listening.
I wanted to eat my hand.
I was listening in the car, and I thought Rishi Sunak did really badly. And the Liz bot, when she came out, she was quite commanding. And I thought, well, that's it, game over. And then I watched it again with visuals. And Rishi Sunak was much better when you could see him rather than just hear him. I think it's that thin, reedy voice of his.
Yeah, I agree with that. When I listened on the radio to, I mean, I definitely think Liz came out on top. That doesn't mean I support Liz, by the way. I think she's blooming well hopeless. But Sunak, when I listened, because I was listening on LBC, and he came out with this really unfunny joke, and I think it took a couple of seconds for the audience. They probably had to put a sign up to say "clap and laugh" or something, because it just wasn't funny.
Well, it was uncomfortable. See, it was a joke about skin colour, and people are primed not to find such things amusing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And I can't really think of an analogy to describe it. It's probably a bit
I
like...
can. It was as though he was one of the stand-ups on the Wheel Tappers and Shunters Social Club. You probably don't recall that, do you?
No, you're saying my age now.
Yeah.
What, I'm assuming this is some kind of like your.
It was in the 1970s, and it was peak family entertainment when one stand-up followed another in the manner of an old. Working man's club. And the jokes were, the sort of thing that would get you cancelled forever now, but then was perfectly acceptable, and nobody raised an eyebrow. And that was the kind of thing that they would say. That would be, a mild joke.
Yeah. No, I get that totally, because when I used to work in a shop, Nick, all of the customers, you just have to like nod down and go, oh, interesting, yeah, and oh, right, yeah, that's probably a little bit like what you do sometimes, some of the callers on air.
Yeah.
And you don't really know what to say.
Well, especially on the Isle of Wight. I mean, you are still mostly living in the 1970s on the Isle of Wight, aren't you? It's like a time warp.
How dare you, Nick? How dare you insult the Isle of Wight? But we are behind. We've only just had our rolling stock updated. I can't believe it. We're now in the 1980s with our rolling stock, and I'm not even joking.
Didn't you have the trains that we used to have on London Underground?
Yeah, and it used to feel like you were going like 6 foot up in the air, doing like on a trampoline, because the seats were so springy. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're past that now. But Nick, I want to point out one of the reasons why Lizzie, I don't know why I keep calling her Lizzie as if I know her. I've not got a number in my book or anything. But I want to sort of point out one of the reasons why I think she came out on top, because I don't have anything against individuals, but I do have something massively against their policies and what they voted for in the past. And really, the reason why Lizzie sort of stood up for me.
Stop saying Lizzie, but go on.
Busy Lizzie. That was cheesy, wasn't it? The reason why I sort of think that she came out on top, Nick, is because in terms of sort of against Rishi, Rishi is very, very wooden, and he doesn't have a personality. He's essentially Keir Starmer. He's the Conservatives' answer to Keir Starmer, and
I think he's a bit more. He comes across as a bit sort of puppy doggish. He's got that sort of needy look about him, Please like me, that kind of thing. Whereas Liz Truss is a bit more. I mean, people have said this before. She's a bit robotic, the Lizbot, she's been honing her Maggie Thatcher impression to the point that there doesn't appear to be a person in there anymore. She's kind of like it looks like a human being, but I don't think there's anything in there.
Well, yeah, and it's bizarre, isn't it? Because I remember the breakdown or the analysis when she started speaking about ice skating and her daughter. It's like all of a sudden that makes the next prime minister
a human being. Yeah. She was kind of like, if they're going to make another Terminator film, she would be an excellent Terminator.
Affirmative.
Yeah, there's no.
She does not feel pain. She does not feel pity, and she absolutely will not give up ever.
No, I don't know what's going to happen, because they're not going to call an election, and I wouldn't. If I was them and I was advising them, I would tell them not to.
No,
because
the Labour are about 10 points ahead at the moment. They're not going to call an immediate election. We're going to have to sit here and suffer it for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I just don't know what's worse, Nick, because Rishi claims to not have any working class friends in that video that did the rounds a couple of weeks ago.
Well, of course he wouldn't. Why would he? Where's he going to meet them when they come over and fix his pipes?
I bet he's the type of person that goes into Poundland and walks out with an M&S bag, like one, because sort of to hide the fact that you're so ashamed of going into a working class
Billy,
environment.
there's absolutely no chance that man has ever been to Poundland. What are you talking about? He wouldn't even know what that means.
I wonder if he's ever brought a Tesco meal deal. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. No, I bet he's never crossed the threshold of a Tesco's. He wouldn't know where to find one.
Well, he probably owns half a Tesco, doesn't he?
Well, I
With
wouldn't be
700 million quid.
Wouldn't be remotely surprised. Surprised, yeah. All right, thanks a lot, Billy. Cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. Greg texts, what do you think Boris will take when he leaves? He better not take the cat. I think the cat might have a word or two to say about that. He says, plus, cats are amazing. If you got one, you would love them. Yeah, I don't doubt that you love your cat. I'm questioning that your cat loves you. If your cat found somebody else that gave it better food and a warmer, more comfortable cushion, it would leave you in an instant, Greg, and you know it. Pat tweets, hey, Nick, yeah, Sunday in the 1970s is where despair was invented. It was so boring. I do remember with horror the Sundays in the 1970s. It was just so dull because apart from anything else, you had the horror of school the next day. And then you just wanted as bad as that thought was, you just wanted time to fast forward so you could go to school so you wouldn't be so bloomin' bored anymore. Nothing to watch at all. It would be something like Songs of Praise on the BBC One, and then not me, but like Dad would flip over to opera on BBC Two.
Boring.
And that was Sunday, to my memory. Neil in Tenby says Sundays were boring in the 1970s. Oh no, he says were boring in the 1970s. Remember the Golden Shot? The Golden Shot was great. The quiz of the week, the sale. Oh no, that's the sale of the century, isn't it? I can't remember how the Golden Shot went. The Golden Shot was tremendously exciting. Up a bit, left a bit. Bernie the Bolt. They should have got somebody who was operating that thing who didn't have the DTs. Up a bit, left a bit. David in Liverpool says, Nick, please stop making me laugh. I am coming off the back of a 72-hour trawl of London's kebab shops. My innards are in agony. Yeah, that's my fault. Hey, have I played that, my second favourite political interview yet?
No.
Well, do remind me, because otherwise I'll forget. Dunbar, Michael.
Hi, Nick.
Michael.
Hi. The 1970s, right? I used to live in Cargo. As a kid, I lived in Cargo Fleet in Middlesbrough. And on Tyne's television, we had High Chaparral and The World at War. That's all we had on all afternoon. It was so boring. And
I remember The World at War. I remember The World at War. It was a tremendous series. I was a bit too young when it came out to really appreciate it, but that music when it started, it was like so Okay, you have to stop singing. Talk about portentous, and I can still remember. Actually, I can still see the image now of. God, it's really going to get depressing in a minute, but I'll just mention it. But there's a series. No, I don't know. You know what? I can't even talk about it. It's the one where they did the concentration camps, and there's one of the searing images of my life, and I can see it really vividly now. I couldn't look away from the screen fast enough. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I recommend you don't watch that program. Have you stopped singing yet, Michael? Oh no, he's gone entirely. Oh, it's a dream come true. Appreciate it. 0345 6060 973. Richard in the Wirral says it's dead easy. Dogs have owners, cats have staff. Yeah, I think the same applies to dogs, actually. I mean, human beings have convinced themselves that their dogs love them. I'm not sure that's true. I think their dogs love dinner. And that thing where they pine when you're gone. If you leave them in the house all day and you go out to work, they freak out because they don't think you're going to come back, and they're upset because of the thought of not having dinner. They can't open a tin. That's what they're freaking out about. Keith in Totnes says, "Hi Nick, if they make wolf whistling illegal, does that include yodeling?" No. But yodeling should be illegal. Angie says, Sunday afternoons in the 70s were boring. That boredom was broken at 10 p.m. when Tales of the Unexpected came on the telly. Frightened the holy life out of me, that show, says Angie. Tales of the Unexpected. What, the Roald Dahl thing? That wasn't frightening. Lucy, well, it depends on how old you were, I suppose. That's that sort of sickly music that it had as a theme tune. That was a bit unsettling, but I wouldn't say the show itself was frightening. That's on TV at the moment, and it's surprising how many really famous actors were in that program, considering how kind of meh it is. Almost everybody you've ever heard of was in that show. Lucy says, "Do you reckon Liz Truss or Theresa May is better at showing emotion?" Good one, Lucy. Hey, don't forget to remind me to not forget to play my second favourite interview ever. Did that make sense?
No.
Well, rearrange those words into a sentence that actually makes sense. 0345 6060 973. And don't look up either, not for the next couple of days, because that would be a big mistake. Huge. I'll tell you about that as well. As long as I remember.
He knows everything.
Pam texts, Nick, I've worked out why Rishi Sunak wears clothes that are too small. Children's clothes are exempt from VAT. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter how much money you got. And it seems like the more money you have, the more desperate you are to cling onto it. But it's weird. I mean, those clothes are apparently made to measure. I've got no idea who they're made to measure, but it ain't him. Sue tweets, in the days of trim phones. Oh, I remember a trim phone. Stupidest phone ever. She says, in the days of trim phones, birds definitely used to copy that sound. I am not mad, says Sue. Just as an aside. Well, I'm glad to know. Congratulations, Sue. Trim phones. It was, they were the first non-rotary dial big phone, the big bulbous phones that we used to have, the rotary dial ones. The trim phone was a rotary dial initially, but it was the first one that was different from the one that everybody had. And whoever designed it was an idiot, because it was just too light. And the cord was too small. And so it would be sitting there looking perfect on your table. And it came in a variety of colours as well. And I do recall that the handle part, which was the cradle, you put the mouthpiece thing on the phone itself. And that bit used to be luminous. I think it shone in the dark. You know, as though people would forget where they put the phone that is wired into the wall. Where's it going to be? But where you left it. But you picked up the phone and you put it to your ear, and because the base of it was so light, it fell off the table and disconnected you every single time. Because there was never enough cord to put it to your ear without pulling the phone towards you. And because the phone was so light, it would just leap off the table onto the floor. Trim phones. Ben tweets, is hashtag Lizbot trending yet? I don't know. What's she done lately? Too bloomin' much. And this says, can someone please tell me why it is on Sundays our shops have to close at 4 p.m, but continental shops stay open till midnight? I don't know, because God doesn't make the rules in Europe? I've got no idea. I don't know. They close at 4 o'clock. I think shops over a certain size have to close at 4 p.m, which is, I suppose, is good if you work in there, but it's poor if you haven't got any food and it's 5 to 4. Fulham, hello, Wendy.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Wendy.
Yes. Before I go on, I just wanted to, the Isle of Man.
Is this you not going on?
I haven't started yet.
I see. Carry on.
The Isle of Man, is that where that motorbike race is? Did the gentleman say the Isle of Man?
Yes, he did.
And is that where the motorbike race is?
It's where a motorbike race is.
Yeah, yeah. Is there a prison there as well?
I hope so.
Okay, right. Okay.
We
this
should
is
make
what
that entire island a prison. Because
Have you ever? I've never been.
that'll teach them.
Don't be cruel.
I have been there. Yeah, it's there's not much, not really. There's no public transport there.
It's got like a beach. It's got beaches.
I've got no idea.
Right.
There's no
Okay.
public transport there. That's all I
Well,
know.
that's
I got off the boat and I didn't have a car with me, so I was waiting for the bus. And you can wait for the bus from now until the end of time. It's not coming.
Oh no! That won't do me then. No. Yeah, I was phoning. It's a bit past it now, but you would like the God, I'll get to it in a minute. The fox, on your car.
The fox on my car, yes. Mhm.
Yeah. And
it likes it up there because it's warm. The roof of the car stays warm, so it likes that part of it. So it sleeps on, or it doesn't sleep exactly. It just takes a nap during the middle of the day on my car. What's that about?
Yes, really. I mean, out in the open.
Yeah.
Oh. So I phoned up because
out in the open where people can see.
Disgusting. Yes. No. A black squirrel.
A black
Have you seen
squirrel?
a black? Yeah. Have you seen one?
I've never even heard of one.
Oh.
A black squirrel? You sure about that?
Yeah. I saw one. I saw a black
Did it
squirrel.
have a really, really long tail and whiskers?
What are you on about? Well.
Yeah,
Well, maybe
it was
they're not very big,
it was a rat, Wendy.
Yeah.
Cuddle
No,
one of
it had
those
a-
and it'll be
it
the
had a
last. You'll never play the violin
tail.
again.
He had a fluffy tail.
Right.
And
And it was black.
yeah.
I seriously doubt that. Maybe it's just dirty.
No. Oh, don't! I'm going round the twist.
Well, thanks. If only you'd told me that at the beginning, Wendy, I would have saved 5 minutes. But thanks for that, Wendy. Appreciate it. Jill says, don't look up. Are you alluding to the Chinese rocket blasting back into the atmosphere and landing somewhere in America, USA? Why, yes, I am. Don't look up.
Warning, warning.
Something else is raining down from above. And it's a lot harder than water. An out-of-control Chinese rocket booster will hurtle back to Earth Sunday. And it could hit land in populated areas, experts say. What? The falling space debris is the result of the Long March 5B launch on July the 24th to deliver the Wenxian experiment module to China's Tiangong space station. Isn't that interesting?
No.
Weighing around 22 metric tons, or about the size of 2 Boris Johnsons.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
It's set to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere at 0:24 BST. That is about 12:30 on Sunday. Precisely 24 minutes past 12 on Sunday. Give or take 16 hours each way, according to Aerospace Corporation.
What?
16 hours each way? Who's calculating this stuff? Precisely 24 minutes past midnight on Sunday, give or take 16 hours. Scientists tracking the debris have highlighted a huge area of Earth where the debris could fall, but said it's still too early to know exactly where.
Fabulous.
More than 88% of the world's population lives under the potential re-entry area.
Oh, no.
It spans all of Africa, India, Australia, and Central America. Ha! Not Europe. In your face, Australia. The Aerospace Corporation said there is a non-zero probability that the debris will land in a populated area. A non-zero possibility. That's very comforting. A re-entry of this size will not burn up in the Earth's atmosphere, say scientists. The general rule of thumb is that 20 to 40% of the mass of a large object will reach the ground, though it depends on the design of the object. So if you go out on Sunday, you'll need to be wearing a tank. I hope it lands on Australia. Those Australians have had it too easy for too long. I mean, that's just a fact. Yeah, what with this And the chess-playing computer that broke that kid's finger? It looks to me like Skynet is becoming self-aware.
Affirmative.
Alarming. Don't look up. And then it can't hurt you. Ray in Alcester? That's probably not how you pronounce it, is it? He says, that starling that was waiting to go on trial because of all the whistling presumably would be up before the beak. A listener with the material. David says, do you remember Sunday trading loophole nonsense where you could buy a bag of apples for 500 quid and get a three-piece settee thrown in for free? Thrown in for free. I remember that you couldn't buy a Bible on Sunday. It was against the law. Some stupid thing like that. Gary says, I just looked up and nothing happened. What was supposed to happen? Well, just wait, Gary. Just you wait. Let's have Ranjit, Oldbury.
Hiya, Nick. You all right?
Yes, good, thanks.
Yeah, there's been a shortage of the police as well, if I can just comment on that. Yeah?
A shortage?
Yeah. Okay. The Commonwealth Games, the Aquatic Centre.
I don't.
Virtually. Well, okay, you don't. It's in Sandwell, yeah? We've had the police there from Scotland, from Guernsey, Jersey, Manchester, London.
Why? What's happening?
Because that's where the Aquatic Centre is.
But why are the police there from here, there and everywhere?
God knows, because it's not a football tournament where there's going to be hooligans or anything like that. I've never seen so much wastage, right? I've seen police motorbikes everywhere.
How do you know that they're from all over the country?
Because I've been talking to some of them.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Bothering them while they're on duty? You're lucky to be alive.
Yeah, I know. And I said to him, I said, look, listen, there's not going to be any aggro. There's people here with children and women, and they come to watch. Oh no,
yeah, those swimming hooligans.
Swimming hooligans, yeah. That's my first point. Suddenly they can get the police, to come out, so they're going to be put up in hotels and this, that, the other. The taxpayer's going to have to pay or whatever. I don't know where the money's going to come from. So there is.
Have you been lurking about the Commonwealth Games area?
No, I've been serving chips to all the spectators, but I've been talking to him, yeah. And the other thing, you've been trying to ask where Boris has gone.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Boris is probably trying to speak to a few people who he's going to give peerages to the House of Lords. Mm-hmm. That's the first.
Not a few either. Going to be a boatload. How many do you reckon, Zaphod?
And one.
Yep.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Some nobody.
Patricia in Whitstable says, Patricia in Whitstable texts, the Isle of Man has public transport, a steam train, an electric narrow gauge railway, and a horse-drawn tram in Douglas. Yeah, that's about right. It does feel like going back in time when you go onto the Isle of Man. Mary tweets, nature is healing. I'm being dive-bombed by moths all summer after a glorious few years when they disappeared. The most regular visitor has a spiky blonde hairdo that makes him look like the lead singer of Kajagoogoo. I miss whatever bad thing made them go away. Well, they're bird food, aren't they? Moths. Your clothes are their food. So encourage birds to eat them. Now, I do want to talk about the debate last night. I've got detailed files, but these people, they keep calling me and I can't get rid of them fast enough. Preston. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Nick.
Paul.
Good to speak to you.
Yes, Paul.
I have a theory, which I've been meaning to call you about this, and I don't know what you'll think, but I think you may agree why 1970s music is the best decade of music. And most people, every generation kind of says because it's what they grow up with, that they would think their generation of music is the best because that's what they grew up with. But
and they would be wrong.
I know that. But the theory is there was nothing else to do in the 1970s or the 60s. It was like either football or music, and like a lot of my friends joined bands, and so lots of lads and girls, for that matter, did that, and so out of that grew the best bands. I don't know what you think to that.
Well, it's an interesting idea, but which would be true if you listen back to the 1970s music, and it didn't seem still great, but it does. It still beats any other decade.
Oh, I think so, no doubt about it. But I think for that reason, there was 3 channels on TV.
I see. You mean that people were concentrating all their efforts on making music, whereas today they have a multiplicity of things to entertain and amuse. Right.
All manner of different sports.
You know what I think? I think also is people were on the dole in the 1970s, so they had a lot of time on their hands, and they could make some kind of a life on the dole in the 70s because everything wasn't as expensive as it is now. You could rent a place, reasonably okay, and you had plenty of time to strum away or whatever. I think that actually the dole, the UB40,
may have a point. There was like
not the
1
band.
in 10 people unemployed.
Yeah, but UB40, the actual form was, I think, the progenitor of a lot of bands because people just had the time then.
They did, and like I said, there were no computers or anything else to
none of that
distract
stuff.
them. So.
Right. Plus, it was new. Everything was new. The people were doing it for the very first time. They were inventing stuff that did not exist previously, and I think there's only so many notes. And therefore, there's only so many ways in which you can put them together that is pleasing to the ear. And I think they just did it all then. I mean, when was the last truly extraordinary album that was released? I mean, you could say, people will immediately say OK Computer by Radiohead, because that's just one of those albums that always gets to the top of the best album ever list. But other than that, I mean, what? Do not call in and say Oasis. I mean, like a truly original, groundbreaking album. I mean, there really hasn't been, unless you know otherwise. There really hasn't been. Anybody says Kanye West is immediately cut off.
Whoop-dee-dee scoop poop.
Exactly. He's gone. Hung up on himself. It's a dream come true. Joe in Hartlepool says, at last night's husting, Sunak said a line that I thought would make a great sound clip for you. He says, negotiating with my European counterparts, as it's better when we work together. I've tried to find it, but it means I'm missing your show and listening to him. I will not put myself through that, even for you, Nick. I know you don't like homework, but it's worth a look, says Joe. Well, I mean, what a week. In a packed week of drama, in the wacky race to be the next dear leader. Fishy Sunak was quizzed about whippets, the Lizbot honed her Maggie Thatcher impression, and an invigilator of the Sun's TV debate collapsed. It was Kate McCann. Kate McCann spoke for the first time about fainting on air during a live debate between Tory leadership hopefuls Fishy and the Bot, and apparently her brain could not take one more single second of it. Her brain said, right, that's it, I'm leaving. Bye-bye. And she crashed to the floor. Because if the brain don't work, then the body checks out too. That's just a medical fact. All future presenters are to be seated for their own safety. Kate McCann was hosting the Sun's Showdown, the fight for number 10 on Tuesday night when she collapsed to the studio floor. The head-to-head between the two Tory leadership contenders was immediately taken off the air after a loud crash could be heard off camera as Liz Truss spoke. Listening to Liz Truss is very dangerous.
Correct.
The visibly shocked foreign minister was seen exclaiming, "Oh my God," as she holds her hands to her face, which had less to do with what she was looking at and more to do with feeling her face. Oh my God. Is that me? Our own Nick Ferrari was sensibly taking the precaution of keeping his seat during LBC's debate last night because he too could have gone crashing to the floor when he heard Fishy say that there will be no border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. He has a plan. He's been keeping that pretty secret these last 2 years. Presumably it involves some sort of magic spell, which would be apt, because he looks like he's borrowed Harry Potter's Sunday best suit, doesn't he? There's something a bit Harry Potterish about him. And if that hadn't collapsed Nick Ferrari, what would have done was hearing the Lizbot say that she wasn't in favour of a windfall tax on the energy giants because it would be unfair to them. When they just posted profits so high that even Jeff Bezos would think it's obscene. I like the bit when Fishy said he'd been having the time of his life, travelling the country, talking to people, normal people, like us. Really. The bloke who won £100 million on a bet and married a billionaire thinks the time of his life was glad handing mouth breathers in shopping centres. I bet he doesn't even know what a shopping centre is. They're where people use credit cards, Fishy. You know how to use a credit card, don't you?
No.
And then the Lizbot stormed the stage, fresh from winning the gold medal in the Margaret Thatcher impersonation contest, beating a hologram of the actual Margaret Thatcher. And she said, I don't know, I mean, does it matter? She said something like, I'll give you free money and better everything. And I like to tell the truth. I'm an honest person, she said, which reminds me of somebody else. I can't quite bring him to mind.
I'm a person that wants to tell the truth. I'm an honest person.
And looking at them both and thinking of the other major world leaders at the moment, I couldn't help thinking that the human race seems to be having a senior moment. I mean, we're supposed to be electing the best of us. If this is the best of us, I think we should let animals run things for a while. I mean, at least when they make a mess on the carpet, it's because their stupid human hasn't let them out. Eh, Bodge?
I can't comment on that.
0345 6060 973. You can text. Hey, have I played my second favourite political interview of all time yet? Oh, I'll do it in a minute. So much stuff to pack in. It's going to be one of them. Isn't that a bit embarrassing? And where is he, by the way? Bodge. I mean, apart from touring the country playing at soldiers like some organised nursery play date, maybe he's still trying to extricate himself from that too tight flying suit they found for him. Give it up, Bodge. They're going to have to cut you out. I'm amazed those suits come in his size. I reckon they had to stitch two together. And isn't he still being paid by us poor dopes who pay taxes? Isn't he still taking £164,000 a year, plus $250,000 in expenses, plus whatever he can rinse out of his donors? I mean, just from us, that's $13,600 a month for basically going on a permanent holiday. Unless he's been spending his time working for his constituents in Uxbridge. Hey, Bodge, we want our money back. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. If you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10, Nick Abbott, LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
Hang about, Nick. Listen. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is this, Nick, right?
Joe in Hartlepool says, at last night's hustings, Sunak said oh, no, I read that. Way ahead of schedule. Dan in Newcastle says, say what you want about Kate McCann, but at least you didn't stand for any Liz's... At least you didn't stand for any of Liz's nonsense.
That is a disgrace.
Anon says, Nick, it's almost August 2022. What are you doing for Carnival? Not going. Thanks for asking. Let's have... I mean, the last time I went to the Notting Hill Carnival was the last time I'm ever going to the Notting Hill Carnival. And it was on the main drag where they have the parade. And it was so crammed. I've only ever been a place like it once before. And that was New Year's Eve, leaving this building on New Year's Eve, trying to get to Leicester Square Tube Station. No, actually, I was trying to get up Charing Cross Road past Leicester Square's Tube Station, and you couldn't do it. The crush was incredible. And that was the year that they stopped making the fireworks a free-for-all. The following year, it was ticketed because it was actually really frightening. Couldn't move, couldn't go backwards or forwards, sideways, you couldn't go anywhere. And people started having fights with each other in the crowd. And the crowd was so packed in, they couldn't give them space. It was really alarming. But the last time I went to the Notting Hill Carnival, and I went there when helicopters were in the air and bricks were flying through across the street. But the last time I went, it was similar to the New Year's Eve thing. It was on the main drag, and I could see a side road where there wasn't many people, and it was only about 10 yards away, but I couldn't actually physically get there. And the crush was so bad that I was picked up off my feet. I didn't have any control over the direction I was going in anymore. And I thought, right, that's it. Not again. No thanks. Cwmbran. Hello, Philip.
Hello, Nick. The 1970s, I can remember that as a horrible decade.
What?
Strikes.
Yes.
Continual unrest, the left and the right. The only highlight for me of the 1970s was the 1st of January 1973, when we joined what was called the European Economic Community.
Right.
And of course, that obviously into the EU. Well, obviously, we've now, in our great wisdom, decided to walk away from it. I fear we're going to go back to the 1970s. So all these youngsters that didn't know what it was like to be in the 1970s are soon going to find out.
Exactly. That'll teach them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll have something to complain about.
Yeah, I mean, Edward Heath, who has gone down as not a very popular Prime Minister because he had to put up with all the industrial anarchy and what have you, but he was the one man that had the vision of taking us into Europe, and he did manage to get us into Europe. So I do give him credit for that, although he's probably not very popular because of it.
sương đêm mộng trắng mùa hoa tuyết nở giữa xa